Hello, this is Do Plants Produce Oxygen by Vishvam, Foram, and Taha.
Taha. The purpose of this experiment is to determine whether or not plants can produce oxygen. The materials that we will be using to prove this are 2 wide-mouth jars, 2 candles, 1 lighter, 1 healthy plant, and 2 tongs. In order to prove how a plant produces oxygen, first think about the components a fire needs in order to burn, which are heat, fuel, and oxygen. If those are the 3 components necessary for a fire to burn, then what if one were to remove oxygen from the equation? It would result in the fire burning out. But what if there was a plant inserted into the equation instead of the oxygen? Our new equation for a fire would be heat plus fuel plus plant equals fire. In order to test if our equation works, we will be placing a burning candle in one jar and tighten the lid on a jar in order to block off any oxygen from the atmosphere that would interact with our experiment. In another jar, we will have a burning candle in a jar placed next to a plant and tighten the plant's jar's lid as well. The fire of the candle in the jar with no plant should theoretically go out due to lack of oxygen. The candle with the plant in its jar should keep going if our equation works. And this will mean that a plant is equivalent to oxygen. Let's go see if this works.
Before conducting the experiment, we will have to set it up. Number 1. Place the jars side by side. Number 2. Next, place a plant in one of the 2 jars and leave the other jar empty. Number 3. Keep 2 candles not yet ignited in front of the 2 jars ready to be picked up by the clamps. Also, make sure you are in a sunny environment. The plant cannot do photosynthesis without sunlight. After the experiment is set up, ignite both the candles and simultaneously place them in the jar. Immediately close the lids of the jar.
As we can see here, both the fires are slowly going out. The one without the plant has now gone out. The candle in the jar containing the plant is still going, and a layer of condensation is forming around the jar.
Analysis. The fact that the candle in the plant keeps burning proves not that plants are oxygen, but that plants produce oxygen. This is conducted through the process of photosynthesis, whereby plants take in carbon dioxide, which is released from the fire, water, which was in the soil, and energy from the sunlight, which is why it is necessary to be outside. To produce oxygen, which keeps the fire burning, and glucose, along with photosynthesis, plants also breathe using cellular respiration, where they use their own oxygen or any other plant's oxygen and glucose to release water and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The water released by our plants in the experiment was condensed on the sides of the jar. Since the plant requires oxygen to conduct cellular respiration and the fire cannot produce oxygen, it had to be the plant that used the oxygen it produced to conduct cellular respiration and condensed water on the sides of the jar. Conclusion. In conclusion, plants do produce oxygen. This was shown in our experiment because when a plant was placed in a jar with a burning fire, it produced oxygen to sustain the fire, as opposed to another jar with a burning candle and no plant, which burned out due to lack of oxygen. Also, the layer of condensation around the jar proves that the plant was producing oxygen, due to the fact that it released the water in the first place by conducting cellular respiration, and in order to conduct cellular respiration, the plant also needs oxygen, which could have only been obtained in the jar from itself. Overall, plants do produce oxygen by doing the process of photosynthesis.
This has been a Vishvam Foram Taha presentation by Vishvam Foram and Taha.